Hi guys, welcome back. Today I want to do the end of the year book tag, and I was tagged to do this by Liene from Liene's Library, and I will link her channel in the video description down below as always because she's the best. But I thought I would do this because I think it's, you know, kind of useful to help think about my reading plans for the rest of the year, which is really only like 3 weeks, which is a little terrifying. But also for next year. So I thought I would go ahead and do this real quick. Also, I hope you have enjoyed my unannounced 12 days of booktube. I didn't tell anyone I was doing it, I just sort of did it and uploaded for 12 days, so you're welcome. I didn't want to do Vlogmas because that was a little more than I could handle, but I thought I could do 12 days of it. But I didn't have time to make an announcement video, so I just started doing it. So there you go. If you've been wondering what's up with my upload schedule, that's why. That being said, let's get right into this tag. It's not a very long one. Question 1, are there any books that you've started that you need to finish? Yes, there are. There's one book that I started in September, and I have been occasionally inching my way through it. It's really good, but it's just like heavy, and so it's been taking me a while. But it is The Crossing, My Journey to the Shattered Heart of Syria by Samar Yazbek. Some of you guys might remember that I did September for Syria, where I read books by Middle Eastern authors, and this was one of those. It's a nonfiction book about things going on in Syria. It's really good. It's just very heavy. So this is where I'm at right now. I am 193 pages in, and there's like 273 pages, so I've got about 80 pages left in the book. It doesn't seem like a lot. I just need to sit down and actually do it. I would like to finish this by the end of the year because I've been reading it for the last few months, a little bit at a time. So that is one. The second book is one that I finally started. This is a book I've talked about that I pre-ordered in like January or February. Still haven't read and definitely want to finish by the end of the year. It is Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. I'll definitely finish this. It is my current read. I'm not very far into it. I need a chance to sit down and really get into this, and it's high fantasy, so I need the time for it, but this has to get read by the end of the year. Absolutely. Question 2. Do you have an autumnal read to transition for the rest of the year? I don't really know. I mean, it's already winter. I feel like maybe if I had done this tag in like October, this question might have made more sense, because I definitely had books in October that were kind of Halloween-y, creepy books that sort of maybe transitioned me, but at this point, like, I don't think it's really applicable. Question 4. What are 3 books that you want to read before the end of this year? So obviously the ones that I already talked about, and then there are 3 more that I would like to get to by the end of the year. And those are A Shadow Bright and Burning by Jessica Cluess, The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. I really want to read this before the end of the year because it comes out early in January, and I do want to write a review of it. And Children of Blood and Bone by Tomi Adeyemi. This one doesn't actually come out till March, but I'd like to get through it. I'm hoping to send it off to Lauren so that she can read it because she really wants to read it as well. Yeah, and I'm excited to read it, so I want to get into this. Question 5. Are there any books that you consider to be a sleeper that may end up making your top books of the year that you haven't read yet? So here's the thing. My top books of the year are not going to include arcs for 2018 books. Those may come up in a video where I talk about books to watch out for that are coming out in 2018, but I don't feel comfortable including 2018 releases in my top books read in 2017, even if I technically read them then. So although I could maybe see a couple of these arcs being really good, those wouldn't be included in that list, and so for the other books that I'm reading, I'm not really expecting them to top other books that I've read. You know, there's always a possibility I could be surprised and like totally blown away by something, but for the moment at least I'm feeling pretty solid with the books that I think that are going to make that list. And final question is, have you already started making reading plans for 2018? And yes, if you've been watching very many of my videos lately, you probably know that the answer to that is most definitely yes. I am planning to do a couple of rereads early on, starting in January. I've got 2 books that I'm planning to reread: A Great and Terrible Beauty by Libba Bray, and Wizard's First Rule, which is the first book in the Sword of Truth series by Terry Goodkind. So those are 2 series that I'm planning to start rereading in January. And then I am also planning on doing a buddy read of City of Brass in January, And then I just have a lot of books on my TBR that I want to get to, so nothing really specific other than that, but I have 3 books already that are going to be on my January TBR. So yes, I'm definitely making plans, and I'm really excited for it too. So that is it for the end of year book tag. I like this because it's short and sweet, and it's mostly just talking about books that I've been reading, books that I want to read, and I think that that's kind of useful to just sort of wrap your head around where you're at. In terms of goals, I will say I have gone above and beyond my Goodreads goal, so I'm pretty happy with that. This year, because I had a newborn, my youngest son was born December 20th of last year, so he's almost a year old, which is actually pretty crazy. But because I was going to have a newborn, I knew that early on in the year I probably wouldn't be reading much, so my goal for this year was only 50 books, and I've already surpassed that. I think I've read, how many books have I read so far? So far I've read 57 books this year, and I'll probably read a few more before the year is out, so I'm really happy with that. I didn't read it all the first 4 months of the year. Last year I read 100 books, but I knew with a newborn it just wasn't going to happen, so I've met my reading goals from that perspective. But the other piece of it is that I have so many unread books that I really want to get to, so sometimes that feels a little bit stressful, but hopefully we will begin to get to that. Let me know in the comments down below what your reading plans are for the rest of the year, and if you have any reading plans for January. I'd be curious to hear what you guys think. If you want to buddy read any of these books with me starting in January, that would be awesome. I'm always a fan of that. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to see more. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.